Hello once more and welcome back to my channel. Knowing closeness is more than merely physical contact. It involves tapping into the more profound emotional and psychological characteristics of your spouse. In this video, we'll examine 4 important locations that women frequently desire for their partners to touch, demonstrating how these motions can improve comprehension and connection. We will also explore the psychology of these preferences are based on female psychology, Stoicism, and guidelines to assist you in creating a more deep connection in your relationships. The importance of maintaining eye contact. Click the subscribe button if you're interested in, prepared to step up your handling connections and unleash the potential of being stoic in your life. Means that you're in the appropriate location. Each video provides you with one more step toward mental mastery and making deeper, more significant connections. Let's get going. Okay, this is the harsh reality of closeness is more than simply the physical aspect of it. Further into the power of touch and attraction, the domain of trust, than that relationship and comprehension. You might believe that touch is everything. However, most men overlook this secret weapon, the value of making eye contact. Yes, I am discussing the type of eye contact. It breaks down and cuts through the noise walls and fosters a closer bond, more than you ever thought you've most likely felt it. Prior to those instances where you look her in the eyes and the entire world disappears, it's not about looking at her clumsily like some creep. This isn't the same. This is about those little silences when words are unnecessary and your eyes are performing. It's that unstated amid all, the speech connection that speaks louder than words. When your eyes meet hers, you could say it resembles a surge in an electric current. But in the less visible areas, it's revolutionary because once you've mastered it, you'll see the difference. I assure you this is a talent that transcends closeness and will transform how you relate to others, how you cultivate connections and your appearance in the globe. And after you discover how to utilize that power, and you'll be unstoppable. Okay, let's discuss. The power is something that most men overlook of contacting the less visible areas. If you believe it's all about the typical locations, the locations that everyone discussed are losing out on an entirely new degree of connection, allow me to give you a hefty blow. The truth is that a woman's body has spots that triggers when properly touched responses that are far more intense than you may believe. That these secret locations are where once you figure this out, the magic happens out. You'll be able to establish a stronger matter miss just as much. If you wish to create that intense connection, you must select your words with caring. No nonsense, no flattery, just because genuine flattering remarks coming from a location of genuineness. Tell her how beautiful she appears, certain, but make it personal. What you adore about her and what motivates you. You're crazy. But it's not only about gratitude is always important, and anticipation is 4th place, the ultimate touch point. Crucial, observed how the hinting or tantalizing of what comes next might cause her to cling to. Every word is an effective strategy that you're painting a picture, not just talking, image in her head, gradually constructing that stress that she is waiting for. Discover what comes next, and it begins. Let's discuss pace, slowly. Now that we have you, occasionally talk as though you're revealing a secret to her alone. It strikes that gentle personal tone distinct, but don't be scared to change it up to become little stiffer. Every shift in be bolder, but keep it warm. You may keep her by using your voice completely absorbed, sharpening her senses in ways that words cannot adequately describe. It's the subtle reasons why that is important. Combine that gently touching her, perhaps stroking her neck, or you've put your hand on her back. This is the cold truth with passion, something you must comprehend. Soft strokes that have a greater impact than the great gestures can be disarmed, with words pleasant but those peaceful, private. The whispers that give her feelings actually sincerely hoped she would recall those she remembers certain Moments much longer than this isn't about playing anything else. This game is about being authentic and deliberate. And this is where the Stoics and Stoic philosophy believed in having control over your ideas, your behavior, and the influence that you have on other people. Yet it's not simply about regulating your speech regarding presenting it with intention. Your words have the power to create chaos or tranquility, relationship or separation. You own the ability to produce something tangible, but it demands master of being totally present. Your feelings and use that authority to establish a sincere rapport so that the following time don't rely solely on her since you're close to. Her physical contact communicates with a purpose. Using your voice to convey, message, and establish the tone to arouse desire, since in the end, ultimately, it doesn't matter how much you claim that, it's about your words and your mannerisms. Show her how you feel, and that's nobody can ignore power or how to read her reactions right quickly. I have a question for you before we resume. Which method do you prefer for creating a deep relationship with a woman? I would adore for you to leave a remark below and provide your ideas, or if you're unsure about what to simply type. And this link will be established in the brief moment. Paying attention to your viewpoint makes these discussions that are far more significant, and it makes this video even more accessible. Men who could find it useful. Therefore, please take a moment to leave a comment. I'm eager to read your next words. Let's continue, since the finest part is still in front of number 4. Sweetie touches that are more expressive than words speaking about your hands. They're not only to be touched, they are there to forget about force or haste when communicating. The strength is in the intention and accuracy. Imagine that quality is more important than the quantity. Each touch is like a brush stroke on her body, and the canvas are the masterpiece. Gradual trace of a gentle graze along her back, down her stomach, or a gentle pat on her thighs can establish a stronger bond beyond merely physical. The key is to explore, with touch, diversity, glide of temperature and pressure speed, running your fingers over her flesh or applying pressure. Her back's tiny. These small actions reveal a lot about her. A gentle pat on the neck is your golden zone. A stroke around her neck or behind it. Waves of sensation from the collarbone. She won't anticipate the major shock and intimacy you're demonstrating to her. Distinct. It goes beyond what you accomplish, how you do it. A slow, methodical stroke, when paired with the appropriate pressure, produces the timing of a remarkable experience is everything. Let's now introduce the Stoics instructed to behave purposefully and be totally not responding rashly in the moment. Your touch need to convey such Stoic approach to physical touch, attitude, purposeful don't, and deliberate control. Brush it's there. So go slowly and let your hand will talk. Once you're completely, the gentle touch will have greater significance as opposed to the issue is will you do anything grand, accept it. It's number 5 and the real power. Okay, behind pleasure, if you're the kind of man who is still here, you're not here to settle for mediocrity, since you're not content with the surface level of enjoyment beyond the next you're seeking, depth and insight, not cheap thrills and genuine bonding, which is what isolates the mind's actual power in intimacy between men and boys. So let's examine the true strength behind it. Most men believe that pleasure is everything regarding the body, the hands, the contact moves. But allow me to provide a bit of information. Ruthless, the intellect weighs the most. Wait. The most powerful thing in your mind is organ that interprets each and every touch, every word to become an expert of skill. But if you're not participating, you're missing the point, desire. In her view, it all starts with pleasure and fulfillment in the mind. Your brain makes the final decision. What thrills her? What feels good? What makes her want to stop more? If you want to, concentrate solely on her physique. Elevate this. You must get in touch with, first in her mind. And here's the catch, is the starting point for serious power, conversation. Yes, I did say it. Well, your hidden weapon is talk prior to anything physical happening. Take the time to learn about her preferences, what turns her on, and what makes her tick. Inquire about her dreams and establish a secure environment where she can express herself. The more at ease you make her feel with you, in mind, it's simpler to physically unlock her. You're not merely seeking sex that you want to produce, an encounter that energizes every aspect of her and their mental health issues. Continue. Games have the power to modify the game as she messages that are suggestive before you lay a hand on her. Final thoughts and outro gives away clues about what's going to awaited. Arrival is among the most strong pull that makes you crave her to feel tense and yearn for the previous moment. It even starts, let me share some knowledge, he stated, who looks outside of dreams. The deepest pleasure is evoked inside, does not originate from flashy moves. The psychological and emote relationship you establish here is where genuine knowing her on a personal level gives you power deeper level. Now remember that pleasure is not only mental, it is also physical. Reacts to visual stimuli, other than touch and sound effects softly set the scene, lighting that fits the mood. These particulars aren't mere details, they interact. Everything feels more alive because of her senses closer and more genuine. And this is where, when Stoicism is applied, the Stoics didn't just teach self-control over your abilities and incapable of controlling. What they taught about presence and comprehension when you're there with your spouse on an emotional level. And you have mental power over the experience, which makes it strong and satisfying on all levels. So keep that in mind when you establish a mental connection with her. Recognize her desires before making contact. You're not merely making the occasion better. When you get proficient, you're changing it. The art of mental and physical relationship. You're not merely having your care resulting in an amazing experience. Therefore, this is your incentive. Allow me to drop something as a little reminder. Vital here, brother. Never undervalue the mental power in relation to enjoyment. The reality is the mental and emotional bond that deepens the understanding, the true significance of anything else. For sure, it's nice to know all the right moves, but it all depends on how you make her feel. The real thing is the game on its head. Aphrodisiac, let's bring everything together. Now, intimacy between two people is more than just what you're in. Conclusion. Being aware of the important areas where she desires to feel touched. Intimacy is more than simply physical attraction. Secret locations are where, once you figure this out, the magic happens out. You'll be able to establish a stronger bond. It surpasses even the most basic. I'm being gently touched at, the little of a faint graze down the nape of her back, of her throat, or a light pressure on the within her wrist, which is unexpected, but these locations are quite delicate. And when you touch them purposefully rather than haphazardly, you're messaging her in a manner similar to talking with your hands. Isn't about only following the procedures. It's about giving each action purpose, like a quiet dialogue her body recognizes. Now, consider areas such as the rear, her neck, shoulders, or knees, or even her earlobes may appear tiny or unimportant, but believe me when I say that they possess enormous potential. The second place, the emotional trigger key, is in how you touch them. Occasionally, with a gentle touch works far better than going Allen with a solid plaything. Softness and pressure, and observe how your body reacts in unexpected ways. However, this is where them really stand out. Finding hidden spots is more than just showing her physical pleasure. Is the goal that you are there and that you are concerned enough to examine what truly brings her joy. These locations have a direct connection to her mechanism of pleasure, and when you obtain it, yes, you'll ignite something much more, the exterior, and once you finish, her body will be grateful. No words are needed. It's not about playing games, let's face it, this is about making a deeper connection level. It involves looking past appearances, level encounters that the majority of men are involved in, and genuinely conversing. with her in some manner that fosters closeness, and have faith when you investigate these surprising spots. You're not merely stroking her body, you're making her feel something. And that's what distinguishes those who survive from individuals who leave a lasting impression. And here's another strong hairstyle tip for her. May seem easy, but managing your playing with her hair, with her fingers, or simply giving it a light pat can feel extremely personal. A tiny act such as this extends beyond the physical realm, conveys concern, affection, connection, which is calming, consoling, and demonstrates to her your attention and presence into her. Therefore, let's go on to the next point. Don't just leave when you're near her. Slow down and take your time at the typical location's time and investigate these less evident areas. Observe how her body responds. And when you experience mastery, the skill of speaking and the art of delivery lean into the response. It's about hurrying or checking boxes, ensuring that every touch matters. Believe me, when you begin to take note of these subtle areas, you'll establish a degree of intimacy that she will never forget. So let's bring in some of the Stoics. Knowledge possessed the ability to be present in concentrating on the present and exercising control what you can. In third place, the secret spot. Most men ignore the closeness space that entails being totally present rather than hurrying through the physical. Examination to reach the ultimate objective is to comprehend the effect of each touch at every instant as well as your reaction to it. When you do, you'll see that the most profound force is not used to create connections. They are created by being patient and present and comprehension, so that the next time you'll keep in mind that it's not simply about the obvious locations. Focus on the small topics that nobody discusses, and the ability to be totally present with, since doing so will result in the development of a relationship that's more than just physical, real, passionate, and unforgettable. Okay? So, let's be honest for a moment and discover how to master the art of number 3 of your words, and more crucially, how, as you mention, most men don't notice this, but believe me, it's a game share. The key is actual contact, thus it's crucial. But what really matters is your voice weapon, the force of spoken words you might ignite a spark with, intention that you didn't even knew it was feasible to consider. This most men don't even think about the ear. However, I must say that it's absurdly the appropriate words were whispered at the appropriate tone at the proper moment can have a significant impact on many males engrossed in the evidence and depending on appearance or what should function. But I can assure you that intent and tone are what truly make you stand out. Words are instruments, and when you utilize, they are deadly whispers. So use them carefully while you're near her. Anything in her ear,